Hello there, and welcome to Fable TLC Cut Content, the series that tries to show you as much content that goes unused relating to Fable to help give you some idea of how different the game could have been. This includes things like weapons, spells, NPCs, creatures, food, potions, augmentations, hero titles, and many more. If this sounds interesting to you, then a link to my playlist on the project can be found in the video description, along with a link to a mod known as the Content Museum, which you are looking at right now, where I try to make some of these things available for other people to play. So if you want to try some of these out for yourself and don't want to spend the time spawning or rigging everything, then this mod has you covered. In today's video, we will be taking a look at demon doors that weren't used in the final game. If you played any of the main series Fable games before, then you're probably aware of these interesting creatures. They are living entities inside of a stone door that guards its creator's treasure. They do this by asking a riddle that attempts to either sound more challenging than it actually is, or to throw you off so you're mistaken what they actually want you to do.
Your path is dark. Only a light will reveal it, and you are not bright enough.
It is believed that the demon door concept was inspired by a fairly old fantasy musical film from 1986 called Labyrinth, which features these creatures known as talking door knockers, who also ask the protagonist to solve a little riddle before they can enter the door. This then leads them to areas that look vastly different.
Where did they come from? What do you think, Ludo? Which should we choose out of these two ugly characters?
It's very rude to stare!
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just wondering which door to choose.
What? Don't talk with your mouth full!
Wait a second. I can't understand you.
What were you saying?
Oh, it is so good to get that thing out.
What were you saying?
I said it's no good talking to him. He's deaf as a post.
Mumble, mumble, mumble. You're a wonderful conversational companion.
You can talk, all you do is moans.
No good. Can't hear you.
Sorry.
That's all right. I'm used to it.
Come on, Ludo.
In case you think I am making that up, I found this out by watching a video on a channel called Skyrion, who makes great exposés on topics for different video games. The one which is the most interesting is his The Lore Behind series, where he goes over the lore behind various games like Fable 1, 2 and 3, both the Portal and Half-Life series, and I'm sure there are many more to come. So if you're interested in checking any of those out for yourself, a link will be in the description below. Anyways, Skyrion got the chance to have an interview with one of the co-creators of Fable, called Dean Carter. In his interview, Skyrion did what we all probably wanted to do at some point in our lives, and asked Dean what the inspiration for demon doors was, to which Dean states that the concept for the demon doors came from the sentient door knockers in Labyrinth, as it was one of his favourite films.
Your path is illuminated. Fancy that. You worked it out.
Some more interesting things about the demon doors are that they are comprised of three parts: the face, the door, and the wall. The scripts responsible for the door's features are actually attached to both the face and the door. The face is indeed a creature with a certain amount of health, which means if you cause enough damage to one, you could theoretically kill it. This is evident by the Knothole demon door, which asks you to deal damage to it with your bow in order to allow you to enter it.
If you can hurt my face with an arrow, I'll crack wide open for you. Yep, you've got the power. So, I've got the gap.
The door is like any other door in the game, and has both a unique mesh and animation dedicated to it. This animation plays when the face of the door fades. Then you have the wall surrounding both the door and the face, which is used to help it fit into almost any environment or circumstance. Demon doors also possess a marker that teleports you to the next region. However, this marker often doesn't appear until the demon door's riddle is actually solved, which means that in a lot of cases, you can't necessarily cheat one by using something like summon clipping. You also can't enter it by simply deleting the door and face either. There may be exceptions to this, but all the ones I've tried so far seem to prevent me from accessing them. This might be because the demon doors themselves are actually tied to their own sort of global quest, and that if you don't meet the requirements for the quest, it doesn't progress the quest, which prevents it from appearing. This means if you disable quests for the game, then you will have no access to this feature, because it relies on the quest system to trigger properly. As you can see here, without the door, the face is still able to talk because the talking script is attached to the face, while the door opening script is attached to the door. Now that we're done dissecting interesting facts about the demon doors that are used in the game, let's dissect the game itself for clues on ones that aren't used in the game. It is possible to view what most, if not all, of the scripts relating to the game might be, including unused ones. This is done by simply right-clicking the executable file for Fable and then choosing to open it with Notepad++. You can use regular Notepad, but it's a lot easier to use Notepad++. The exe is compiled of almost everything that the game does or does not reference, including scripts, quests, dialogue, cutscenes, and even object names. We can use this to our advantage to see if we can find any demon door scripts that go unused for either the face or the door. At first, all this might just look like gibberish to you, since it's a whole bunch of text and no characters, all that kind of thing. But it's actually easy to find what you were looking for with the program's search feature. If you do plan on opening up the executable file with Notepad, then it is highly advised that you do not delete or add anything to this file. Otherwise, you might break something that you don't necessarily understand and render it worthless, causing you to reinstall the game all over again to get a new one. Just remember that we are only here to browse. To find the scripts relating to the demon door's face or door, type in dd_ or df_ and keep finding the next result until you stumble upon them. This will show up every single demon door script, some of which you might be familiar with, like df eat pies, df give gift, and df be evil, for example. It even includes the text files associated with each door, starting from the Heroes Guild. That being said, we do have two sets of scripts here that don't actually trigger in the game. These are Dress as Bandit and Dragon. We will start off with DD Dress as Bandit, which only really contains references for two text files, leading me to assume that this demon door was dropped earlier on in the game's development. You might be confused and asking yourself, but isn't Dress as Bandit used in the demon door for Abandoned Road? And it is reasonable to assume this. However, the Abandoned Road demon door actually uses the scripts DD 3 suits and DF 3 suits, which are completely different to the Dress as Bandit scripts. In fact, the dress as bandit scripts actually come before the 3 suits demon door in the executable file, leading me to assume that the dress as bandit demon door was actually supposed to be an earlier version of the 3 suits demon door, and that instead of getting 3 different kinds of outfits, you only really needed to obtain the bandit outfit. I don't know if this means that the bandit outfit would have been found in a different way to what we experience in the final game. However, it does prove to us that the idea of this demon door may have been completely different.
What? Oh, you're not one of them, are you? My eyesight's not what it used to be. One was a gallant knight. His plate armor was so shiny, probably what did my eyes in. Then there was an evil mage, wore the darkest magical robes you ever saw. The last was a rogue, a bandit, bit like the chaps here. Where is the gallant knight I await?
You have taken the right path in life, that's for sure.
Now that we've went through what the dress as bandit scripts are about, let's have a look at what happens when we attempt to attach these scripts to a demon door and try to interact with it in the game. As you can tell by this demonstration, interacting with a demon door that has the dress as bandit scripts attached to it will just softlock the game. This means that the game hasn't crashed necessarily, but is still trying to do what we requested. However, it's hung up on something that we asked it to do, and thus we have no more control over our character or the game, despite animations still playing. The reason for this is most likely due to the fact that the text entries I mentioned earlier for the dress as bandit demon door, hey that rhymes, no longer exist in the game files. If you use a program like Fable Explorer or Chocolabox to view the text.big file, which is responsible for all of the text entries in the game, then try to use the program's search feature in order to find the text files associated with this demon door, well, you won't find them. This shows us that the demon door was either scrapped or ended up being replaced completely by the 3 suits demon door in the abandoned road. There's speculation amongst us modders that this could very well be either an older version of the abandoned road demon door, which I just mentioned, or that the demon door could have been used for an unused quest related to the bandit camp.
You'll need to sneak past those bandits to reach their camp. If any of them see you, they'll raise the alarm and lock the gate. And if that happens, you must stay hidden for a short time before the gates reopen.
The theory is that the Cook quest involved sneaking into the bandit camp, similar to what is in the final game. However, it is believed that the demon door was meant to be the entrance into the bandit camp, and that this could have been the original reason for collecting the bandit outfit. But like I mentioned earlier, it is merely speculation based off the evidence provided and has never been officially confirmed.
Here, you heard what happened to Stern?
No. What did the idiot do this time?
He only lost his bloody cap in a raid. Was a week before he could get back into the camp.
Yeah, you can't get in unless you're in full gear these days.
Our final demon door in regards to what can be found on the game's executable file is DD Dragon, otherwise known as the Dragon Demon Door. Judging by what is listed on the executable file, the demon door would allow you entry if you have a high enough renown. Unlike most of the other demon doors that you find in Fable, this door clearly had more than one phrase that he was able to say to you, which varies depending on your character's renown. Not only that, but the Dragon Demon Door is a really interesting one, as its name makes us assume that the reason for it was to allow us entry into an area with a dragon. In the final game, and major spoiler warning if you for some reason happen to have never played Fable Lost Chapters before, but you get the chance to fight a dragon in that version of the game, which is possessed by Jack of Blade's soul. This happens after you've originally killed him.
Nothing to me.
However, based on not only this evidence in Fable TLC, but even more support from evidence that can be found in the Xbox version of Fable, we can safely assume that this dragon sequence was meant to be different before the original game was even released back in 2004. But before we go into any of that, here is a clip that I managed to find from another YouTube channel called The Fable Historian, who uploads and archives all sorts of videos relating to all of the Fable games, the main one being the original game, which has plenty of presentations, documentaries on its development, and even interviews with the developers before it was released. This is called the Fable Giga or Giga presentation, whichever one you're supposed to call it, which was basically a chance for Peter Molyneux and Simon Carter to show the game to a German audience all the way back in 2003. Peter describes the game while Simon plays through it. For full context on what is going on, I will play the whole segment leading up to what I want you to hear.
Wirklich in bewegten Bildern zu zeigen hat, müssen wir das auch tun und zeigen ein paar Bilder. Okay, let's get back into the game. Peter, what are we going to see now?
Well, it's just a little trivial thing. Simon's been walking around the world. He's just discovered that there's this kid just shouting at this beggar, and he's just being really rude to this beggar, and he's saying, I love to pick on this beggar. And I just wanted to show that you can learn things off him. Because he's been swearing at this beggar, Simon's just learned the word to say the word shit. And so he chose to learn that. Yeah. You don't have to learn that. So now he can just swear at anybody he likes in the world. He can walk around and swear.
So let's point that out. You walk around, you see somebody swearing at his children or something like that, and
you learn that.
Call them really bad names. Like, yes. I mean, you can say fuck on German TV. That's
you can.
That's a nice thing because nobody understands it. Right, okay. You can say fuck or mother, whatever. Yes. So you can really, by seeing it, you can learn it.
You can learn it, and also it's got a little bit of expression on it. So because you can put it on these keys on these keys here.
On the D-pad.
If you press it, you can go shit. So when we're playing cooperative, quite often we walk down as a band and we go shit, motherfucker, shit, and we're just sort of rapping, doing our own rap. And you walk into a town like that, and people rap. Anyway, that's just a trivial thing. Let's have a look a bit more of a game.
It's a nice detail.
It's just. Yeah, I think it's really funny, especially when you walk in and you see this huge dragon, and all three of us go, shit! And that is just as...
Holy moly!
Now, I don't know about you, but but to me this sounds like Peter Molyneux claiming that a dragon was planned even all the way back in 2003. However, it could also just be something he said to prove his point, but it's still interesting to consider when we see the next part I'm going to talk about, which is the unused dragon Trogdor and the unused map Dragoncliff. But before we go into that, let's have a look at what happens when we try to attach the dragon demon door scripts to a demon door and then try to interact with it in the game.
Oh please, as if I'd let a dribble of pus like you come through. If you knew what was behind this door, then you'd know I'm doing you a favor. Only a combatant of the highest renown has a chance against it. So come back when you think you're hard enough. Only geezers with high renown can come through. Stop taking the mickey. I'm not talking about your average sword-clattering scrope, you know. It's you. Your renown has spread. But beware, you have never faced a challenge like this. Seriously. I have contained this threat for 1,000 years. It could kill you where you stand. You may pass. Get it.
There is up to 5 sets of voice lines for this demon door that unfortunately go unused, all of which I find really hilarious, so here is them all in order of renown.
Oh please, as if I'd let a dribble of pus like you come through. If you knew what was behind this door, then you'd know I'm doing you a favor. Only a combatant of the highest renown has a chance against it. So come back when you think you're hard enough. I'm not opening until I think you can deal with this. You got a lot of chickens to chase before that time. Only geezers with high renown can come through. Stop taking the mickey. I'm not talking about your average sword-clattering scrope, you know. Your renown is getting there. Come on, before I need oiling. But when you face what's behind me, you'll wet your underpants. It's you. Your renown has spread. But beware, you have never faced a challenge like this. Seriously. I have contained this threat for 1,000 years. It could kill you where you stand. You may pass. Git.
If you've ever played Fable on the Xbox, then you might have noticed this demon door that's outside of Lookout Point that no matter how far you get in the game just can't be opened. I personally haven't heard any confirmation on this, but from the looks of things with how the Xbox version still contains the files for the original dragon, the Dragoncliff map, and that this demon door happens to be the only one you can't open in the whole game, we can safely assume that this demon door was meant to be the door that would lead to Dragoncliff. Which makes sense when you consider the demon door's request. He wants renown, and even has dialogue for the hero having no renown, something that you would most likely only witness if you just left the Heroes Guild. It's possible that maybe the Dragon Demon Door was meant to be somewhere else at one point in development, but the evidence provided seems too much of a coincidence to me. There are even various lines of dialogue for the villager NPCs that inform the player about a creature or creatures attacking Hook Coast, which have the strange entry name of Hook Coast Post-Dragon Pre-Battle. The way it's worded have people divided on whether it's referring to something occurring before fighting the dragon or afterwards, leading some to assume that it means they are warning the hero of the dragon, and some that assume post-dragon means after the dragon fight.
You should get to Hook Coast! Something's wrong over at Hook Coast.
Hook Coast! You must get to Hook Coast!
Run to Hook Coast! You can stop things!
There's something wrong at Hook Coast. Strange beings have been seen heading there.
You won't catch me going up to Hook Coast. Not never again.
Run! Save yourself! Hook Coast is getting destroyed! The world's coming to an end!
The time is approaching. Hell is coming to Hook Coast!
Once this place was peaceful. Now it's being torn apart.
Hook Coast isn't a safe place to be. Flee while you have the chance.
Albion's being ripped up. Lights and noises at the Abbey.
It is believed that these voice lines would play before or during this quest involving Hook Coast, and would work in a similar way to how shopkeepers explain certain events in the world whenever you talk to them.
No wonder you've been nominated for the arena. You did the impossible. Wow! Oh! You won, and you allowed the powerful Whisper to live. Impressive.
Now, I will try not to ramble on too much about it, since this isn't the Dragon or Dragoncliff video, but something I should be clear about when I say the dragon fight is that this dragon fight actually went through plenty of stages before being cut from the original game. The way I have perceived it, based off the information I have seen for myself, is like this. The dragon was originally intended to be some sort of late or end game boss that was actually tied into the story in a similar way to Jack of Blades, but the devs didn't have time to finish that, so instead they pushed the dragon to just a side thing that you could find inside Demon Door because they thought it was cool, and still wanted to find a way of improvising with the whole dragon fight quest. When they realised they couldn't make the dragon work as intended in time, they decided to scrap the dragon concept from the original Xbox version in 2004. This then later cropped up the idea for Jack of Blades as a dragon instead, with Fable The Lost Chapters.
I am no mortal man. The gods and demons you fear and worship are as nothing to me.
The dragon on the Xbox version of Fable is called Creature Dragon 02 in the game files, and in the Fable Anniversary Primer Guide, it states that the creature's name was meant to be Trogdor. You would find Trogdor in a map that was also cut from the game, known as Dragoncliff, which is also still in the game files for the original Fable.
I have contained this threat for 1,000 years. It could kill you where you stand. You may pass, Git.
Since we went over all the content that can be found in the vanilla games, let's take a look at this text file, which is actually a text.big file from an earlier version of the game, and was discovered, then formatted for other people to take a look at by a modder named Albion Secrets. If you want to find out more information or view the text file for yourself, then a link to his Discord server called Project Seasons will be in the description. The text.big is responsible for all the text in the game, ranging from dialogue, object names, and descriptions, things of that nature. But since this text file is from an older version of the game, it contains some dialogue that may seem familiar to you, and others which were changed for the retail game or go completely unused. If you open up the text file with a program like Notepad, you will notice that there is a whole lot of text to look through, but if you type in demon_door, then you should find the text entries you are looking for straight away that are named text CS 049 Demon Door 10 Enter, for example. CS meaning the cutscenes that the demon doors use whenever they talk to you.
For 1,000 years, it could kill you where you stand.
What I will do is copy the text files that I find using this name and then paste them into a new text document to present for this video. These are all of the text files I could find in the text.big file, based off conversations with the demon doors. Like I said before, some may seem familiar to you since lines were reused for the retail game, but almost every demon door has a line or two changed. Something to also consider is that not all of these demon doors are connected to the script_dialogue.lug file, which means that the audio associated with these dialogue entries was either never implemented into the game or removed completely. So to make our lives easier, let us go through in order of what demon door I think each one was meant to be in, starting with the Heroes Guild.
Your path is dark. Only a light will reveal it, and you are not bright enough. Your path is illuminated. Fancy that. You worked it out.
Your path is dark. Only a light will reveal it, you punts. Your path is illuminated, you arsing great turd. There are lines in here for the Greatwood Gorge demon door, but it appears that they are pretty much the same as what's in the retail game.
This is the deal. You perform an act of great evil in my sight, and I'll pop open.
Next up we have the Rose Cottage demon door.
I never open on a first date. My heart has been broken too many times before. I could only let someone who really loved me through. Oh, you really know how to treat a door. I will always be open to you. You've made me so happy. I can feel pebbles welling up in my eyes.
I never open on a first date. You better impress me first. You want to get in me. You'll need to get to know me first. You're a charmer, you are. Go on, pop your chuff through then. Be gentle, my sides are still sore from a particularly wide hero a while ago. Also, just to clarify, any spelling mistakes that you see are actually how they are written in the text.big. Next up is the Greatwood Caves demon door, which is found outside of Darkwood and Hobbs Cave.
I need to see your combat multiplier get higher before I swing a jar.
It appears the dialogue for this one is also the same in the text.big file. The next demon door is the Summon demon door, which summons guardians, such as Hobbs, to attack you.
Beware, traveler. I block the way to all but the most combat-hardened. If you request, my guardians will test your mettle in combat. Meet their challenge, and the reward I hide is yours. I see you are ready for your test. Very well. Guardians, attack! You defeated my guardians. I am knackered. Go on, get yourself through.
You must not pass. Guardians, protect me from this git. You defeated my guardians. I am knackered. Go on, get yourself through. As far as I am aware, there is unfortunately no way of telling if the guardians back then were meant to be the same as the guardians we have now, which are Hobbs. These are the lines that would have played for the demon door at the Grey House after completing the Lady Grey quest. The most interesting part about this one being that it's pretty much the same, however it's like misspelled in a lot of places.
Single men not allowed. You need a ball and chain. A posh one with a title. Poor Lady Grey, having you as a husband. Still, you're married, so slide yourself through.
Next we have the Abandoned Road Demon Door. Interestingly enough, the text files that were missing from TLC are in this text.big file.
What? Oh, you're not one of them, are you? My eyesight's not what it used to be. One was a gallant knight. His plate armor was so shiny, probably what did my eyes in. Then there was an evil mage, wore the darkest magical robes you ever saw. The last was a rogue, a bandit, bit like the chaps here. Where is the gallant knight I await?
I have a special deal for bandits, pillagers, and looters this month. You don't look like a bandit to me, more of a giant girl crying cause her pants have fallen off. Hey, plundered any good villagers lately, mate? You can come in anywhere, I'm in. Next we have lines that sound like they might have been for an earlier version of the Demon Door for the Find the Archaeologist quest, just because of how similar the door opening lines are to the retail game. But there is no other link for what was behind this older version of the Demon Door or how to actually complete it, which it says is done by solving a riddle. The door also seems a lot more reluctant to let you inside.
I only open to those who know my name. If you know it, find and hit the magic stones to spell it out. Only one person knows my name, but I doubt you'll find him even at the Temple of Avarice. So, you worked out my name. Big deal. In you go.
If you're wondering why the door's already open, it's because I triggered the quest to activate on a character that has already completed it. Similar to the Dragon Demon Door, this one has a lot of dialogue that goes unused. Where do you think you're going, mate? It's VIP only. No peasants like you. You think you're gonna figure out how to open me, do you? Tell you what, you can come through if you solve this riddle. What's stupid, ugly, and has no chance of opening me? Yeah, that's right. It's you. Now bugger off. Why don't you bother some other door? Like one with a knob. Are you still here? The door has spoken and told you to scram. Fine. So you figured it out. Big deal. The stupid and ugly comment still stands. Another thing that my friend Game Genie pointed out that could link this demon door to the Witchwood Stones demon door is that it mentions VIP only, which it's believed that the trophy dealer would only open up and sell his inventory to VIPs. These next lines appear to be a slightly changed version of the Knothole Glade demon door.
If you can hurt my face with an arrow, I'll crack wide open for you. Yep, you've got the power. So, I've got the gap.
Strength. Show me you're strong enough and I'll be cracking wide. Call that strength? I've seen tougher ducklings. Can't you do more damage than that, you weedy arse? Yep, you've got the power, so I've got the gap. From what I can tell, this demon door only had the first line changed, which it appears that the original line had more emphasis on strength, which explains why he mentions strength when you fail to do enough damage to him, despite you using a skill ability. This could be hinting at the fact that you were meant to use a melee weapon to do damage to him rather than a bow and arrow, and for some reason they changed it. Next up are the Gibbet Woods Demon Door lines, which appear to be unaltered.
Only by defeating another hero in combat will I open for you. Got that? I mean, how simple are you? I'm not best pleased with that mess. Still, fair dues. Nip on through.
It's possible that the reward from this demon door was meant to be something different earlier on in the game's development, but there is no evidence to support this. And finally, we have a demon door that appears to have different lines to the one that can be found in Lychfield Graveyard.
Leave me alone, you organic pustule. I only open for Nostro, the ancient guardian of the door. Not for you, and not for that rancid gravekeeper.
My armor, my helmet, my sword and my shield, gather for me in the path I shall yield. The sword can be found beneath the ground. If you are brave, try the hornet grave. My armor, my helmet, my sword and my shield, you gathered for me, so the path I shall yield.
So, you helped the Old One recover his armor. I'll let you through then. Be careful though. I don't want your finger marks all over me.
Leave me alone, you organic pustule. I only open for the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper hasn't given you his blessing, so you and your bad breath can get lost. I'm not opening for any mouth breather like you unless the gatekeeper gives you his blessing. So, you helped the keeper recover his armor. I'll let you through then. Be careful though, I don't want your finger marks all over me. Oh, and you might not like what you find on the other side. Now, a theme you may have noticed with these lines is that they refer to the gatekeeper rather than Nostro, because in the original game he says, I'll only let you in if you recover Nostro's armor, because I don't listen to you or the gatekeeper. But in this version of the game, it implies that you were supposed to help the gatekeeper recover his armor, and then the demon door would let you in. I don't know if that's an error on whoever wrote these lines, because maybe they did mean Nostro and they accidentally wrote the keeper, but it implies that Nostro was not created at this point in the game's development. What's also weird is that this demon door warns you about what's behind it, similar to the dragon demon door, which makes me assume that maybe behind the demon door was the boss battle rather than the new map that the retail game introduces in between the Graveyard Circle and Lychfield Graveyard, which I believe is called Graveyard Path. I believe that is everything I could find involving unused demon doors or cut dialogue involving conversations with demon doors. Hopefully you enjoyed your time watching this video. If you would like to see my other Fable TLC cut content videos, then a link to my playlist will be found in the description. All other relevant links will also be in the description in case you would like to see any of those for yourself. And finally, if you know any cut content that I should do involving Fable, let me know in the comments below, or join my Discord server, which will be linked in the description, and talk about with others who also look into cut content relating to Fable, or to just talk in general.